Hello everyone, my name is Erin Anderson and I'm the Museum and Conservation Liaison for the Americas region at TruView. Today I'll be speaking about glazing materials as tools for sustainable framing and display, and how glazing can be a sustainable solution in museums. For anyone unfamiliar with the name, TruView is a global company with over 50 years of experience producing glass and acrylic solutions for the display of art and heritage worldwide. TruView is headquartered in the US and all our products are manufactured domestically. Our glazing products meet the highest aesthetic and conservation standards for cultural heritage collections. Within TruView, my role is part of the Fine Arts and Museums team. Our group all have backgrounds in museum work, fine arts, or conservation. I trained as an objects conservator and worked in museums prior to joining TruView. Our department provides product guidance and education specific to the needs of the arts and cultural heritage sector. My colleagues and I work all over the world and have seen how TruView products are used in many different display applications. TruView has a whole range of products designed specifically for framing and display. Two of the products we are most well known for and used most frequently by museums and galleries are Optium Museum Acrylic and UltraView Laminated Glass. These two conservation-grade products both offer 99% UV protection and are anti-reflective with optimal light and color transmission and shatter and abrasion resistance. Later in the presentation, I'll be highlighting some of the properties of these products and how they can be used for sustainable practices. When it comes to selecting glazing, there are many factors to consider. On the most basic level, the protection of the artwork must always be balanced with aesthetics. But when sustainability enters the conversation, cost, environmental impact, reusability, durability, and many more factors come into play. Sustainability is top of mind for many of us, and it can mean many different things. So let's get into how glazing solutions can help museums in their efforts towards sustainable practices. What are some of the challenges to sustainability in museums? Energy consumption, waste generation, budgets, and funding. These are just a few areas of concern when considering sustainable practices in museums. There is a growing consensus in the museum field for more responsible use of energy, reduction of waste, and to be fiscally responsible while maintaining high standards of preservation. Museums are exploring low and passive energy solutions, such as high-performance buildings with good insulation, low air exchange with the exterior, and the use of microclimates to maintain necessary environmental controls. In terms of waste generation, some of the biggest challenges for museums are temporary exhibitions, loans, transportation, and packaging. All of these activities end up producing lots of single-use waste, but there are reusable solutions. Long-term thinking is critical to sustainability, and long-term planning can aid museums in making fiscally responsible and sustainable decisions when funding can be limited. So how does glazing fit into the quest for a more sustainable museum? And how might glazing solutions be able to help in using less energy, creating less waste, and even saving money? Energy consumption is a major contributor to a museum's carbon footprint, and a large expense in terms of cost as well. While artworks and objects with cultural value often require certain environmental conditions to maintain their preservation, it is difficult and costly to control the temperature and relative humidity in large buildings, particularly those that are historic. Microclimates are cases or frames with little to no air exchange, allowing for passive or active control of the relative humidity and/or temperature inside. The use of microclimates is a way to control the localized environment of artworks, maintaining the necessary environmental conditions while using significantly less energy than regulating the conditions of the entire building. Microclimate case vitrines can be constructed of either glass or acrylic, and how well sealed you need the environment to be will affect whether you choose a glass or acrylic. The use of sealed packages and microclimates can be particularly useful for works going on loan when there is a need to maintain a particular environment. Smaller microclimate enclosures can also be constructed within a frame package. The enclosure can be designed to meet specific requirements of air and moisture exchange, ranging from completely hermetic to permeable. In terms of glazing materials, glass has no permeability, so it works well for anoxic or hermetic enclosures where maximum environmental control is needed. Acrylic, on the other hand, has very low permeability. It's suitable for a wide range of enclosures from tight to moderate environmental controls. As I mentioned, creating microclimates can help a museum meet environmental standards within the enclosures without having to consume excessive energy to acclimatize the entire gallery space. On the left is a study comparing the energy consumption for conditioning the whole gallery versus using microclimate cases and frames. The energy savings is significant, reducing the carbon footprint while maintaining high standards of preservation for the objects in the collection. Other benefits of microclimates include protection from vandalism, incidental touch, pest and dust entry, and exposure to environmental pollutants and ultraviolet light. The manufacture of glass and acrylic glazings with optical coatings, such as anti-reflection and UV protection, requires a large carbon footprint due to the energy-demanding fabrication processes. Glass comes from a natural source, however, it requires more energy and higher temperatures than plastic to melt and be formed. Acrylic is a petroleum-based product, but it is half the weight of glass, reducing handling and transportation resources. These are some of the reasons why glass and acrylic can have similar environmental impact, depending on the perspective. At TruView, both glass and acrylics are engineered to perform long-term, allowing them to be reused. This is possible due to the robust anti-reflective coating process called sputter coating. In this process, layers of metal oxides are applied to the sheets, remaining physically and chemically bonded to the glazing in a permanent way. They do not wipe off or change over time. Optia Museum acrylic also has an abrasion-resistant coating that contributes to the durability of the acrylic sheet. Waste reduction is one of the most impactful practices. Exhibitions, loans, and conservation projects generally require many resources. This often means using a lot of materials that are custom and designed for each exhibition. There are a considerable number of materials that are used only once, even if they have the potential to be reused and repurposed. For this reason, many museums are actively looking into more environmentally friendly approaches to transportation, loans, exhibition design, material selection, and display furniture. Let's take a look at the reuse of materials such as display cases and glazing for the protection of artworks. Shifting from single use to multiple uses is a key element of sustainability when it comes to glazing solutions in the museum. There are many museums that store glazing sheets, display cases, and other display furniture for reuse in future exhibitions. Here is an example of the Art Institute of Chicago where there is a storage area dedicated to Optia Museum acrylic sheets for reuse. Designing cases with dimensions that accommodate a range of different artworks will allow reuse for multiple displays or exhibitions, and is another way to cut down on waste and cost. Performance and durability testing are an essential part of determining if a product will remain protective and be a good investment in the long term, or deteriorate over time. Here you can see some of the rigorous testing that Optia Museum acrylic passes. Investment in products that last longer and meet such testing requirements can come at an initial expense, but if they are usable for a longer time, this can spread the cost over multiple exhibitions and reduce waste. It can be challenging to cover budget in the short term, let alone think about future exhibitions with themes and subjects that might still be undecided. However, as there are moves towards sustainability, thinking long term can not only help but eventually pay dividends in future budget discussions. The use of so-called carbon calculators is becoming more common when assessing materials for exhibition and display in museums. However, I would urge people to look not only at the initial sourcing of a material, but beyond to how much use it will get over time. To determine if a product is suitable for long-term use, there are three aspects of material testing to consider. The first is the stability of the material itself and how it will interact with items in a collection. Testing, such as AUDI and PAT, are two examples of how we can assess if a material is safe for use in exhibitions and display settings. What if an artwork comes into physical contact with a material? What if it is nearby? Is a material off-gassing? Performance tests can reveal if a material is safe for long-term use. The second aspect is the physical durability of the product. Will it hold up to repeated cleaning, visitor touching, handling during installation or traveling? The final aspect is how the characteristics of a material will change with extended exposure to light and humidity. Artificial aging can simulate long-term exposure in a laboratory environment. Selecting glazing products that pass rigorous testing means their properties will remain unchanged and they will continue to provide protection while being reusable for many years. Museums often have limited budgets and depend on funding to complete conservation and display projects. This situation can lead museums to think short-term and select temporary solutions that will cost less, but undermine sustainability and generate unnecessary waste once the solution is replaced. Materials that are designed to last longer help towards sustainability and can be a better investment over time. TrueView provides support to the museum community through a conservation and exhibition grant program that is administered by ICON internationally and FAIC in the United States. The grant program is designed to help conserve and protect an object for display. The grant has two components: a cash award that can be used towards materials, supplies, or support to complete the conservation and display project, as well as a material donation of Optium Museum acrylic or UltraView laminated glass for use directly on the project. Applications are accepted twice yearly in spring and fall. We hope some of you will consider applying. Museums have applied for a wide range of projects. Here are just a few grant recipients. Projects have ranged from traditional framing of paintings to display cases for objects of all kinds. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about a project or product applications. When it comes to materials for display, TrueView is constantly trying to innovate. At the moment, several products are under development, including on the sustainability front, a recycled UV protective acrylic. TrueView is committed to producing products to meet the display and conservation needs of the museum community. Thanks for attending this presentation. Please feel free to be in touch if you have any questions.